Yeah, this isn't actually a bonus video. I lied. Deal with it. So yeah, fun fact about me, I like the Portal series. I know, clap. But for a while, I had only ever played the game's sequel, Portal 2. And eventually, I did get the Valve Complete Pack, which, may I remind you, comes with Portal 2, but I still never played it. I don't know why. And eventually, as of like a few nights before beginning production on this video script, I decided to just bite the bullet and play Portal 1. And it was a pretty good game. So today, as opposed to making a bonus video like I usually do, as of like one video ago, and covering games, scrap content, and trivia, I decided to make this video cover Portal's story in a very poor fashion, may I remind you, because this is a Muffin Lord video, and everything has to have its, amount of jank. I need that jank quota for the day. So yeah, this is gonna cover the game's story and the game itself. But who knows? Maybe I'll cover, the scrap content and stuff in a future video. Who knows? Maybe the Portal bonus video will be dropping. Or maybe not. Maybe this video won't do well and I'll just scrap the idea. I don't know. So, yeah, I have nothing else to say. So let me stop yapping and get into what I can only call the Portal video. Guys, get it? He removed the bonus from it. That makes it funny. Please laugh. Anyways, we open the game in Test Chamber 0, which acts as a bit of a tutorial area, teaching you the game's controls. It even has a radio, which plays a funny rendition of the game's ending theme. You also see timers counting down on 2 select sections of walls. You're then contacted by GLaDOS, who's like an AI. I know, funny. GLaDOS informs you that you're at the Aperture Science Enrichment Center, and you have spent time in the Relaxation Center, which is basically middle school detention. Now, I should probably mention, we play as a girl named Shell, who is GLaDOS and Aperture's personal lab rat. And considering the whole relaxation room thing, we can infer that she might not be a good person. Eventually, GLaDOS stops yapping, and 2 portals open. These open on those sections of the wall where there are timers. Walking through them and into a door, you can press a button. This introduces us to the weighted storage cube. Putting this on the button allows us to cross, leading us to a chamber lock. The chamber lock vaporizes any unauthorized objects. Basically, your portals and any item you brought into the chamber lock, as GLaDOS explains. Now, in my initial playthrough, that's right, I played through this game twice. Once as my initial playthrough, and twice so I could get all the poorly written information for this video. So yeah, I was holding the radio up to this point, and then it got, vaporized in the chamber lock. So yeah, moment of silence for the radio. It truly was the most important character in this game. Doo, doo, doo. So yeah, the next chamber features 2 portals. Now, both these portals are rotating, and we must again use these rotating portals to get a weighted cube onto a button. GLaDOS also says something about the button and prolonged exposure to it having dire consequences. So I assume that this button is the equivalent to the TF2 respawn machine, which isn't very good because I spent like 15 minutes there writing out what I had to do for the stage. So, pretty funny stuff. Onto the next room. On the next room, we see a portal gun on a pedestal rotating a blue portal. GLaDOS was talking about something about bleeding and the loss of teeth. So I guess Shell is British now. I'm send prayers, I guess. GLaDOS then opens the door, and after you jump, you can get the portal gun, or at least half of it. That's right. Unlike the sequel, you only get half the portal gun. You get the other half later. For now, you can only shoot blue portals, and the orange portals will be in select locations. And you might be asking, how do I get the orange portal? You need to buy, my dear viewer, you need to buy the Aperture Science Orange Portal DLC, which is about $300. That is just a bad bit. Anyways, GLaDOS also says some stuff about things not to do with the portal gun. The only real important thing that I found from this was that the portal gun cannot be submerged. It could not come into contact with any form of liquid. And yeah, you need to remember that basically. So now you can step through the chamber lock, and you're on your way to the third level. Now this is the third level. Now the third level isn't very special. It's just reinforcing what you can do with half of your portal gun. However, GLaDOS does say one notable thing here, which you'll be noticing. For a lot of stages that I are either not special or I just plain don't like, and there are going to be a few of these, don't worry. You're going to hear the small child rant about levels he doesn't like in the silly Portal game. GLaDOS talks about a bring your daughter to work day. Now, if you're new to this game, you might, or the Portal series in general, you're probably like, oh, this is wholesome. But if you're a Portal veteran, if you've played this game once, or you've played Portal 2 and you can infer, and you know how to infer information, then you are probably quaking in your boots right now. You probably have the 1,000-yard stare on your face. And I could say why. I know why, in fact. But it's probably nothing, so let's move on. Test Chamber 4 isn't very special, and it's just a good practice for the player. GLaDOS informs us we'll be entirely on our own for the next level. This chamber, it is easy, by the way, and by getting the cubes on the buttons, GLaDOS also tells her last statement was a lie. Well, GLaDOS, I have one thing to say to you. Fuck you. Anyways, Test Chamber 6 introduces us to the two laser chambers. One of these releases a laser ball that must be put into a laser port via portals in order to progress. The 7th test chamber also makes use of the laser balls, and upon activating the port, it activates what GLaDOS refers to as the Aperture Science Unstable Scaffolding, which is your average moving platform in any video game ever. By the way, weird side tangent. For some reason, all these things in the game have incredibly long names. Like, I'm pretty sure the laser port and laser balls are called the high energy palette. That is a stupid name, and I'm going to call them... And I know laser ports and laser balls isn't a better name, but I'm going to call it that because that's what's on the script. And I can only read off something I wrote, like, while I was playing through a video game. So, yeah, pretty cool. So, yeah. Enough dogging on my horrible writing skills. Anyways, yeah. Test Chamber 8 also uses scaffolding, and the laser balls are requiring you get it through the blue portal and then place the blue portal in front of the laser port as the laser bounces back into the orange portal. This game is, as you can see, this game can get kind of complicated sometimes. So, yeah, pretty funny. Anyways, also, another thing to mention is that this level has shit water that, like GLaDOS said, will kill you upon contact. So, just a minor thing to mention, if you fall in the water, you die a horrible, gruesome death. I'm also pretty sure it might be acid, but, I think water is just funnier. I think the idea that it's just unpurified shit water is very funny to me. Upon entering Test Chamber 9, GLaDOS informs us that this next test is impossible. This is a lie. You can use... Now, on first glance, it does seem impossible. There's a chamber lock. You need to get a cube through, but there is a small window above the chamber lock. And using some portal finessing, you can finesse yourself and a weighted cube onto a button, with GLaDOS congratulating you again. Well, GLaDOS, you lied to me, so fuck you. Test Chamber 10 is special. GLaDOS glitches out, but mentions momentum. This uses a new mechanic. By placing a portal above and below you, you can build fall momentum and gain speed across gaps, with GLaDOS explaining this to you after the first gap. Basically, as GLaDOS puts it, speedy thing goes in, speedy thing comes out. After that, you get to Test Chamber 11. Here you need to get through a laser ball section, making use of a mounted rotating orange portal gun. You also need to press a timer to open a door in order to even get to this room. Charging the port activates a platform that allowing you to get to the orange portal, completing the portal gun. Now, you might be wondering, what? But Brian, you said that you had to get the DLC to unlock the orange portal gun. Well, buddy, that was sarcasm and a complete lie. So, deal with it, I guess. Another thing I should mention is the number of levels the game has. Now, unlike Portal 2, which is a pretty long game, there are only 19 chambers in Portal 1. That's right, 19 test chambers. Now you might be asking, if this game only has 19 levels, then why is your script like 8 pages long? How many pages did you spend on filler, Brian? You fucking idiot. Well, let me explain to you something about this game. Let me explain to you something. Well, each level, and hear me out on this one, each level can have multiple sections. Multiple sections, which really makes itself known in these later levels. Let me just tell you, and I don't like this mechanic. It can be good sometimes, but I don't like it. But more on that later. And just so, but I'll continue that rant after. And that was in the script. Oh no, I just repeated what I was saying. I apologize greatly, guys. I apologize. My bad. Anyways, test chamber 12 is basically a repetition of the momentum mechanic with there being a button and a cube this time. Test chamber 13 is short but sweet. You need to use a cube to open a door to the rest of the level. Then you must use a laser ball to get access to scaffolding with a weighted cube on it. Then you use the cube to activate one of the 2 buttons you need to open the exit. Then you need to backtrack to the level start, grab the first cube, and activate the second button. Overall, it's a solid level and that makes use of what you've learned so far. GLaDOS also tells us that we'll be missed after the testing. I'm sure nothing suspicious is brewing behind our backs. Test chamber 14 is something. There are 2 portals, one where you must get a cube using portal momentum to activate a button. You can also see a laser port. Moving along to the second half, you can find a hallway of platforms that move into the water. You can platform your way through or just portal your way over to them. Here you'll reach a laser ball, and with some portal finessing, you can activate the port and complete the stage with GLaDOS then complimenting us. Something else to add to my towering ego. Test chamber 15 can go fuck itself. This level starts with a momentum jump that requires some finessing with portals. The second part has a laser port with another field and 2 platforms that are pointed like a triangle. Using more portal tricks so you can get to the third part of the stage, which sucks absolute balls. There's a series of platforms constantly moving backwards. What you're supposed to do is portal to the end of the start or the start of the moving platforms. And only after that confusing ass motherfucking segment can you reach the exit. Except if you played Portal before, you know that's a fucking lie I just said. You need to do one more laser segment with timed doors before you move on. Now, although I find this level atrocious, GLaDOS does say some fun things. She finally makes us aware of what we're fighting for here, what we're gonna get at the end of the test chamber. You might be thinking, well, what is it? Is it something awesome? Is it like $1 million? It's a fucking cake. It's a cake. This cake better be the best cake in the absolute universe, or this game was a ripoff. That's such a bad joke. I'm sorry. She also tells us that we can sell our souls to we can sell our organs. Organs is what I meant, to help some self-esteem fund for girls. Now I was gonna say something here, but I don't think my gym teacher would be proud of me if I said it, so I'm going to refrain. Let's just move on. Now, apparently, test chamber 16 was supposed to be normal, but instead, it's a testing site for turrets. These turrets will shoot at you and basically mow you down if they see you. But they can be blocked and will die after falling over. Basically, the turrets from Half-Life 2, but they can speak. Their voice lines are also something interesting I want to point out. They say things like, "I don't hate you," and "Are you still there?" You know, they say things that you wouldn't expect a turret that will mow you to absolute pieces would say. Which makes you think that they don't want to hurt you, but they're just doing their job, you know? The whole test chamber is just one big stealth mission. Now, near the end, once you're done dispatching the turrets and you get to what you think is the exit. Now, you can open it only to be trolled by another turret. I got trolled by this on both of my playthroughs. After going on a rampage and destroying 2 more turrets, you can finally reach the actual exit. After, GLaDOS informs us on Android Hell being a real thing, where you will go at the slightest point of being different, which isn't cool. Now, test chamber 17 is long, but there's a catch. GLaDOS gives you a companion cube to help you along. Basically, it's a weighted cube with heart. Now, test chamber 17 has 3 platforms. These must be turned on using laser ports activated using laser balls at the start of the chamber. The companion cube is even required for most of these, allowing you to block laser balls so you don't instantly fucking die. Now, there's a room here you can find in this level. It's called the Ratman room. The Ratman room the Ratman rooms will appear throughout Portal, and one of them even appeared in the previous test chamber. Now, I should probably go. Now, the reason I'm bringing up the Ratman rooms just now is because I forgot to mention them when they first came up in the last test chamber. So I'll be covering the first one and the second one here. The first one gives us a bunch of gibberish, including the text, "The cake is a lie," which is fucking stupid, because why would GLaDOS ever lie to us, man? Why? I trust GLaDOS decently. As much as I've told her to fuck herself throughout this entire video, I have some faith in the funny robot, right? When would they ever steer us wrong, right? Anyways, the Ratman room in test chamber 17 features various ramblings about the companion cube, including a poem, which I'll read now. "Not in cruelty, not in wrath, the Reaper came today. An angel visited this gray path and took the cube away." Now, this creepy poem is also read to us in a rundown room hidden behind a wall, which can be fucking creepy if you just found this on accident. But I also think it's bullshit, so let's move on. Moving on to the entrance, there's a button, so let's activate it, and oh, fuck. GLaDOS tells you here to throw the companion cube away into an incinerator, and this is the only way to progress, so unfortunately, goodbye, companion cube. After killing the companion cube with little remorse, because that's what I did in my playthroughs, because I don't want to waste time, GLaDOS congratulates you on this kill, saying you did it quicker than anyone else. And considering people literally cried at this part of the game, which I'm not going to press you for, I could call these people fucking retarded. But I understand. The companion cube helped you throughout this chamber, so it would be understandable if you got attached. It was also your only real connection in Portal, other than, GLaDOS, who fucking sucks. So I'm not going to press you on that. In fact, there's even an achievement once you kill the companion cube that said, it's like fratricide. Do whatever you can to survive. So, if you're a completionist, you have to do it. There's no way around it. Now, let me continue. Now, once you even kill the cube, there's a chamber lock, so you wouldn't be able to take it with you anyways. Test chamber 18 is a bit long. It starts with a few bullshit platform challenges and another Ratman room. Making it to the top, you can find a button and the exit. Moving forward, you'll find a room with a button, platforms, turrets, and lasers. You can use the laser ball to kill the turrets and use it and the button, which activates a door to the port to activate a platform that moves to another button that activates a slope. Using a pit, you can get to a cube. Now, near the end, once you're done dispatch. All right, I just fucked up and read the last page of the script. Apologies, gentlemen. A cube through momentum, and you use it to activate a button and the exit. Phew, that was a mouthful. But again, there's a second part, so yeah. Now, this is just some momentum jumping. Overall, it's pretty simple, but I was tilted at this point in the game, so, I struggled on this particularly easy segment. So yeah, test chamber 19, in hindsight, is quite simple. There's platforms, buttons, lasers, and energy balls. It's easy, but again, I was tilted, so yeah, think of me swearing every time I die. Kind of like this. No! Fuck no! Ah! Kind of like that. Right. Anyways, the test is over, and I'm hungry, so let's eat a fuck you, GLaDOS. So GLaDOS tries to kill you with a pit of fire once you're done with test chamber 19, but you can just escape it using the portal gun. This begins my least favorite section of the game, the escape sequence. Remember what I said about the levels dragging on for too long? This is what I was referring to. It's got some good mechanics, yeah, but it is bullshit. You've got crushers, pipes, and even turret ambushes. And if the sequence was shorter, it would be good. I admit, it would be awesome. It would be a pretty good escape sequence. But it's so damn long. Also, there was a rocket launcher near the end. Remember that. You needed to break. Anyways, there's one saving grace to this long-ass sequence. GLaDOS' quotes. GLaDOS at first is surprised that you escape before lying and attempting to persuade you to stop the farther you get. Eventually just saying, fuck it, I'm gonna kill you. I don't care what you think. Eventually, you do reach GLaDOS. And while I can see similarities between your design and the design most people know of in Portal 2, she looks quite different. GLaDOS drops a purple Wheatley-looking guy, and if you do some exploring, you can find a button and an incinerator. Using some Portal shenanigans, you can throw the ball into the incinerator, which will cause GLaDOS to glitch out. GLaDOS will then tell you that that was her morality core, which was installed because she got this, filled Aperture Science with a deadly neurotoxin on Bring Your Daughter to Work Day. So now, in 5 minutes, you're going to meet the same fate. GLaDOS is the game's final boss, and the pattern is pretty simple. Launch a rocket at her, grab a core, and throw it into the incinerator. Repeat this 3 times, and GLaDOS fucking explodes. Aperture then crumbles to the ground, and you ascend to the outside. Cut to you lying beside GLaDOS' corpse as you are dragged away by something. We then cut to an underground room in Aperture where we see the legendary cake as well as the companion cube. He's not dead, guys. You didn't need to cry. And then the credits roll, and goddamn, Still Alive is an absolute fucking banger. Right? The song's basically just like GLaDOS giving a final report on the test, even though she's like been fucking annihilated. Which it's a cool song. She also says some stuff about like being heartbroken, which also is told through the achievement for beating the game once, which is called Heartbroken. So either GLaDOS is sad because the player broke up with her and also completely fucking murdered her, which is kind of understandable. Also, in this song, there is a reference to Black Mesa. Like, the Black Mesa from Half-Life. You know, the Black Mesa. Right? And I got a little bit hype. So here's going to be my reaction of that. Well, it's not going to be my actual reaction. It's a recreation. But yeah. I love Still Alive Portal OST. It's something I don't know what to say here. This game was crazy. It was awesome. Oh, nothing bad. Oh my god! Black Mesa! Black fucking Mesa! So yeah, that's Portal. Now if you want, and you don't want your only experience of this game to be me making a poorly made video about it, you could just play the game. Or if you want more Portal, even after you've beaten the game, you can play the advanced maps, or just play the game again with developer commentary. But because I kind of want to be done with this game because I played it for 6 hours, I just decided to cover the main campaign because as much as I hate the escape sequence, it's a decent game, and it's a solid foundation for its sequel. In conclusion, port Still Alive to PC, you fucking cowards. And it's not the song. There is a whole Portal port called Still Alive. But that's a video for another day. So yeah, like and subscribe. It'll be funny. Goodbye, gamers. And yeah, ta-ta. Alright, guys. My friend Aiden told me to look up GLaDOS Year 34. So today I'm going to do that. So let's do that. I think this is gonna be